and it is a non-governmental organization that has been relation with FIP and WHO, and it has 80 years of advancing the pharmacy professional nationwide. And I request everyone to keep your microphones muted, and if you have any questions to ask, just keep your message in chat box. And today, let's introduce our speakers. That is Professor Sunitha Chandrasekhar Srinivas, ma'am. That is Vice President and co-lead Antimicrobial Stewardship Program IPA CPD. That IPA Community Pharmacy Division, visiting professor and Rhodes University, South Africa. Over to you, ma'am, to start this session.
Thanks so much, Varun. A warm welcome to all of you who have joined. And this is a space. Sorry, Varun, if you can stop sharing, then I can share this.
Okay, ma'am.
A warm welcome to all of you. And this is a session where we are looking at how do we start understanding not just one of the issues that we see, which is the AMR, which you come across in your day-to-day activities when you're in the ward rounds, etc. We're also looking at how is climate change intersecting with these aspects. Now, if we can start off, we have to keep participants also active so that, you are actively participating. That's one aspect. More important, we are also learning. We are learning what the youngsters are thinking. We are learning what the future generation leaders are looking at. So it's a learning space rather than anything else. So on the poll, if you see the question, is AMR an existential problem? Please take the next 30 seconds to respond to the poll so we can move forward. And Komali and Varun, I will look towards you to guide me in saying when I can move on.
Yes, ma'am. Just a second. We'll be sharing the poll.
Yeah, thanks. So you want them to answer all of them? Only you can tell us what is to be done.
Yes, the poll is out. The participants can answer their first question now.
Only the first question.
Thank you, Dr. Padma. Yes, only the first question. So it shouldn't, you're all born in this generation, sorry, where, I couldn't find my mute button. So your fastest fingers are very fast. So we should move on because you are the quick thinkers and the quick doers. So what we now look into is, I'm not able to move to the next slide. Okay, I will stop sharing and wait for technical assistance. In the meantime, I will continue talking so that, I'm not keeping any one of you waiting. So what we have constantly looked at is, the constant threat that we are seeing with AMR. Because if we get into the post-antibiotic era, which is, starting, we are looking at aspects where once the AMR gets into the full scale, then common surgeries, childbirth, chemotherapy, everything will start becoming life-threatening. It is similar like the pre-antibiotic era. We also know there is escalating mortality. This is a point I would like to dwell upon for 30 seconds because it is not the 30% of antimicrobials that we are not utilizing properly in the human health. We have to be more cognizant of close to 70% of antimicrobials that is getting used in meat industry, milk industry, and agriculture. Once it gets into that industry, then even the water and the soil will get exposed to the resistant bacteria. So that is how we are accelerating the problem. The problem is not just the 30% that we have to worry about in human health. Most important, there has not been sufficient innovation in terms of antimicrobials because it is not a profitable business. Pharmaceuticals cannot recover from it as much as they can recover from other aspects such as anti-cancer medicines, anti-diabetic medicines, etc. Because once a person is diagnosed, until they live, they carry on buying those medicines. We have to remember that there is global inequality, which means it will only get worse. We have already got to a point where in the human history, we have never had such a big gap between the haves and have-nots, and it is only going to get worse. There is also going to be cross-border threats because pathogens know no boundaries. Here, I would like you to respond on the chat. What comes to your mind first on how to address AMR? Because you could be looking at different aspects. We don't want to, on the screen, yeah, we have to move to the next one, please. Thank you. So don't spend too much of your time. Just the first thought. It should not be more than 3 to 4 words. What comes to your mind when we want to look at what can we do to address AMR at this point? So let us take 30 seconds and let's move on from there. Please respond on the chat. And if silence is the way to move forward, then we are in big trouble because we are dependent on you to keep this interactive. And I really hope silence is not golden at this point. There are other phases of life where silence pays off very well. This is not one of those places.
We request all the participants to kindly share your thoughts on the chat box.
All right. If you're still warming up and your fingers are still warming up for this process, we will continue moving on because thank you, JD. Blessings to you for being that first one. It always takes courage to be the first one. When you are a lonely nut and you have a first follower, then it becomes a movement. And that's a short video I had shared. Gargi, thank you very much. These are not meant for the fun of it. This is going to be taken into consideration when we run the next set of similar programs. So thank you. You are adding fuel to the fire here. And this is a good kind of fire. Next slide, please. The second poll comes up now. Is climate change, sorry about the typo, an existential problem? So until the poll comes up, your fastest finger can keep coming up. So Vijay Kumar, thank you. No OTC. This is one of those few countries on this planet where you can go and ask for an antibiotic by its name or just say you have a throatache and the chances are you'll get given an antibiotic by the dispenser. The second poll, please. So please answer only the second question. Apologize for the typo. It is climate change an existential problem?
But if we answer only the second question, it's not getting submitted.
Okay, in that case, they can answer all. That's not a problem. We can relaunch it for the next question or next poll that happens.
Yeah.
Okay. We are learning and the learning spaces should remain open. One of the key lessons is it's only failure that teaches you what to do. Success only makes us more arrogant. So let's continue to learn with humility and thank you for all the responses that are coming through. 23 participants now, and it's really nice to see the numbers growing. Can we move on to the next slide, please? All right. So climate change is surely an existential global crisis because we are reaching those points where irreversible changes are starting to happen. Once it becomes fully irreversible, the nature will take over, and our very controlling nature has to step back, because we can't stand in the fury of nature. As long as nature remains generous and kind to us, we have come this far. So we rather keep it going for ourselves. If selflessness can't get us there, selfishness has to get us there. Lives and economies are at stake. It's not about what one does, it is about what one's action does to the whole planet. Global stability will be a huge problem. The next set of wars will not be for oil, it will be for water and food security. Biodiversity is collapsing. Geopolitical tensions will only rise. We have seen what happened to the little boats that people from Africa have used to cross over to Europe. We have seen that. Do we want to see more of such things? Do we want to see what happens when borders stop becoming porous and people just want to move in and out because everybody needs basics, water, food, shelter, everybody needs that. Health threats will be very real. When the temperature keeps rising, the vector-borne diseases will not just stay at the tropical levels, it will keep expanding, and we will see more of malaria, more of all the vector-borne diseases coming up very much. Economic disruption is inevitable. Lives and economies are at stake. Next slide, please. Thank you, Tejasvi and Nikita. It's good to see your responses. On the chat, now that the fingers have warmed up, please just put only your first thought. Like I said, 3 to 4 words. Let's not dwell too much on it. What can we do to address climate change? So don't dwell too much. What can we do to address climate change? Your generation is so good at typing, and I envy. And now I want to see more responses. Thank you. Keep it coming. Jasiraj, thank you. Vaishnavi, thank you. We can go to the next slide. Thanks for making the changes. It is a dual crisis. Why? Because AMR and climate change have interlocked. When it interlocks, the combination is more dangerous than one of them on its own, because the climate-driven spread of resistant pathogens will increase the more floods we have, and whatever is accelerating right now, it will only spread. The AMR will only spread. Environmental contamination is bound to happen, and all of this will fuel resistance. Health system overload. As such, we have a huge crisis in low and middle income countries in terms of not having sufficient healthcare workers, healthcare providers in the public sector. If this moves on, the systems cannot work. They will collapse. Because we have to remember, they are also humans. They will also succumb to what is going on. And the resistant virus is not, or bacteria is not going to spare just because somebody is a doctor or an ASHA worker. They are equally susceptible. And because they work in the health sector, they become the first line to even contract it. Food system instability will only increase. The combined shock of AMR and climate change will destabilize economy and the social structure as we know it. There are shrinking options in terms of treatment. Those of you who do the ward rounds, you must be seeing it. If the key medicines become permanently ineffective, we can't even dream of what will happen to women who are pregnant and have to go through C-section, or somebody has to go through surgery. Without antibiotics, the mortality and the morbidity is just going to shoot up. Next, please. Next slide, please. So here's your poll question. Have you thought about the consequences of AMR and climate change as twins? Let's be quick now that you have warmed up, because we want to listen to Dr. Padma, who will invoke our emotions.
Participants are requested to answer the poll.
Kumali, the third one, right?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay.
I think you have to answer
But
everything.
but they'll have to answer everything to submit it.
So can we now move on to Dr. Padma's session? Okay, I'm not sharing the screen, so yeah, thanks.
Yeah, Varun, if you can stop sharing, I can share my screen.
Yes, ma'am.
Thank you.
And now we have the second speaker, Dr. Padmashree GS, emotion scientist and coach. Hand over to you, ma'am.
Thank you. So you've already heard my name. Okay. So I'll just introduce myself. And emotion scientist because I deal with the internal systems. We just saw what external systems are happening. What's happening in the external system? If you start to look at the whole, what ma'am said right now, Sunitha ma'am said about how AMR and is affecting the climate change, and they are twins. Now, as you listen to this, a lot of emotions do come up for you, right? So if I ask you, what are those feelings that are coming to you after listening to ma'am about the AMR condition and the climatic changes, what would you say? What would you say? Can you just continue putting in the chat?
Yes, participants, please keep the updating in chat box. Please respond to the questions, please.
Yeah, you can be wrong also. You don't need to actually always be right. You can be wrong, but then you have to just participate. Without your participation, we cannot go ahead at all. So you are important than us. So go on. Afraid? Okay. So most of you are afraid. What else? If I might start to look at, you can be afraid, you may be sad, you may be disappointed also of what people have done earlier or what you're doing now, what you are doing also, or I am doing. Angry on what people have done, could be frustration, it could be display. Oh my God, so much is happening. I can't believe this. Or it could be apathy. If whatever is happening, what can I do about it? Powerless, I can't do anything about it. Helpless, that surprised, or it can be you can be skeptical. Really, I can't believe this. Or like you have already said, afraid. Yeah, disappointed and angry. Thank you, Priyanshu. Gargi also. Pooja, thank you. Ritika, thank you. Wow. Okay, disbelief, afraid, disappointed, angry. Yes. Now, with this, let's actually go into seeing why would you be fearful or sad or angry. What is the fear about? Is it about the uncertain future, the infections that are going to become untreatable, and how the ecosystem is collapsing? Is that the fear for you? Ask yourself. Sadness or grief, what is the grief for? For what is being lost, whether it's human or ecological? What's the anger about? Is it because of the systemic failure that we went through, the neglect that's happening? And then you can move into, with this, the fear, sadness, and anger, that you are harboring right now, that's happening in your body, that's happening in your mind, in the internal systems that you have. You can then ask yourself, do I get controlled by these emotions, or do I stand in responsibility towards the future generations? Leave future generations, your own generation, you. How do I live my life? Do I take responsibility? Can we move into that? And also get that you're not alone in this. We're all together. So the sense of solidarity, we're all together in that boat. We are all on this earth facing the same crisis, isn't it? And then you can come into saying, okay, if we are all together and we are all responsible, then we can have an emotion called hope collectively together, isn't it? So with these emotions that you have now, express that you're all feeling, which is like, first you're acknowledging, this is what I'm feeling when I see this. Now, with that, let's move into responsibility and create hope. However, when you have this fear or anger or grief that you're going through right now, I want you to also start to look at what are the thoughts that are running in your mind. What are the different thoughts that are running in your mind? I want you to look at it before I show you the different thoughts and ask you. Take a moment to actually become aware. What are the thoughts running? Automatically they come. Thoughts don't ask and come, they just come. So let's ask then, what are the different thoughts that are coming to you now? Like I've mentioned some thoughts. Is this really happening? You can choose multiple also. What can I do to change this? Am I also contributing to this situation? Oh no, I don't know what to say. Oh, why should I bother about this? This has nothing to do with me. Nothing will happen to me. How can I help in improving the condition? And that could be a very hopeful thought. It's too much for me to think about. It's like apathy. I can't think so much. Is this something I should be concerned about? Or this is the government's job and not mine? Are these the thoughts or are they other thoughts also? Ask yourself, are there other thoughts also? So, oh wow. So let's look at who has got. What can I do to change this? How can I help in improving the condition is 80%. That's wonderful. Okay, I don't know what to say, 20%. I'm glad that most of you are thinking, if you're really thinking, how can I help in improving the condition? Please keep that thought with you. You don't need to do anything. You don't need to find an answer also. All you need to know is that question. How can I help in improving the condition? That's a beautiful question to have in your mind to go into finding out a solution. You don't need to right now find a solution to at times if you don't get it, right? So thank you so much for this response. Now, if we go into this, if these are the thoughts that you're thinking, and those are the emotions that you are getting or feeling. Now let's ask these questions, right? Do you have the power? Do you have the power to do something about this? As someone who is a part of the pharma domain, can you ask that question to yourself? And when the poll comes up, just answer yes or no. Ask this question to yourself. Do you have the power? Can you just be with the question? Do you have the power to do something about this? Is the poll coming up?
Yes, ma'am, there's a technical glitch. And just
So do you have the power?
meanwhile, the participants can respond on the chat.
Yes, you can also respond on the chat. Yes, everybody is saying yes. You have the power to. Now, by the way, you don't need to say yes because everybody is saying yes. If you feel no, I don't have the power, you have the right to answer no. I want you to actually express your true opinions, not because somebody else or everybody else is saying yes. Oh, I can't be the odd man out. Please be the odd man out. It's okay to say no and then have a conversation, have a debate about it. Okay, so most of you are saying yes. So in that case, if you all feel that you do have the power to do something about this, I want you to then ask the next question, which is, what can I do as an individual? Like, we saw that right now when Sunitha ma'am asked you, we saw that, wow, what is AMR ma'am? Okay. Antimicrobial resistance, Priyanshu. Okay, what can I do as an individual to contribute? Is something that you did answer to an extent when ma'am asked you about how can we address AMR, right? That was how can we as a collective address AMR. But as an individual, I want you to start to look at how can you as an individual contribute in reducing this? Create such antibiotic that can improve the immune. Okay. It's blank, is it? You can't see my slides?
We can see your slides, ma'am.
I'm able to
It
see
says
your
what
slides,
can I?
Dr. Padma.
Yeah.
Okay.
It's a question.
Geeta was asking, are you sharing your screen? It's blank. Okay. Can you see now the slide?
Yes, ma'am. We were able to see previously as well.
Okay, great. Okay, spread awareness. Anita says spread awareness. Sri Jayani says spread awareness. Okay. As an individual, you can spread awareness. Now, when you say spread awareness, can you start? I mean, you need to start to look at where do I spread awareness also? You need to get specific into how can I as an individual, it's very easy to say, I mean, as an individual, I can spread awareness, but then am I actually, who are the people I can spread awareness with? Who are the ones closer to me? I can spread awareness about this. Do you talk about it with them? So ask yourself all of that. You could have already started to spread awareness. I mean, I may not know that. So I congratulations to you if you've already started to spread awareness, speaking to your people around you and all of that, your friends, your family, relatives, all of them. But if you have not, ask yourself, okay, I am saying it's important to spread awareness, but am I actually doing it? Ask yourself that. Right? So as an individual, you're looking at. Now, right now, we saw as an individual, how am I feeling? Fear, grief, anger, we saw all of that, right? But how do I channelize this emotion? How do I, recalibrate this emotion and use this emotion for actually doing something contributory or something productive, constructive? Because fear, if I sit with a fear, what an uncertain future I have, you think we will have hope? We cannot have hope. So then how about taking that fear as, oh, it's waking me up. It's a wake up call for me. Let me wake up. If you can use that fear is good. Let it be there. You don't need to get rid of it. But you're just translating it into from uncertain future to a wake up call. You said, okay, it's waking me up. Let's wake up. Grief, the sadness of what you've already lost, to, okay, if we continue this way, we're going to lose more. So let's wake up. So that sadness, you can say, we are not going to lose anymore, right? We are woken up. Now, the anger, you can actually translate it from, oh, they did not take accountability, to now you can say, we can take accountability, right? That anger can be translated into that, channelized into accountability. And then you can be responsible for your own generation and for the generations to be coming further. And then, since you know that we are all sharing this vulnerability together, you can understand each other, and then you can become strength for each other, isn't it? So that is when hope, which comes collectively, is grounded in the possibility of, yes, we can now move into a future wherein we can actually do something about it. Right? So for that, when you collectively gather together, cooperation, compassion, all of that becomes a very, very important ingredient. So you need to really, really be aware of the collective communication that you're doing with each other. Right? So now, with this hope being there, which is not naive, of course, it's a driver for sustained action. Now, when you look at action, when you have thoughts, you have emotions. Thoughts cannot become actions without moving, There has to be some action that you will do. Until then, it doesn't become reality at all. So, of course, you will have a lot of challenges. You will be overwhelmed. You will have all these feelings coming all together at times, Even at that time, if you can keep your possibility alive, that is when things can move forward. So I want you to ask yourself with this. Now, when we saw there were emotions, fear, grief, anger, all of that happening at even as she was sharing about it, and then translating it into something different, the same emotions into something different. So every time you feel this instability of fear, grief, anger as a negative thing, you can always channelize it into your positive, the wake-up call, or let's not lose more. That is possible only when you stand in that possibility that we are going to make a difference. and when you know what actions you're going to take. So for that, today, right now, I want to ask, what action can I take immediately to help? Right now, not tomorrow, not day after, right now. What action can you take? So I want you to put on the chat, what actions can you take? Okay. Right now, what actions can you take? Anything can you think of? Anybody? I want you to begin to look at whatever you're feeling, whatever you're thinking. It could still be destructive only, destroying the possibility in your head. It's okay. Stand there and say, okay, fine, right now, do I stand in that fear or do I stand in the possibility that I can do something about it? I didn't get you, Priyanshu. In which part can I take a response? I'm asking you right now, with the power that you have. So Vijay says, fear turning towards responsibility. Yes. I want you to give me an action, Vijay. What's the action? Anybody else? One action, right now. As an individual, what action can you take? Just look at the one powerhouse that you are. And like I said, you can be wrong too. Take care of ourselves. Very good. Yes, that's something that you can certainly do. I mean, start to see when you say take care of ourselves, what's that first action you're going to take care of yourself? Because taking care of myself is also not an action. It's like, it's something to do. Hygienic, yeah. So give me an action. Like maybe, I'm just here. I'm going to wash my vegetables right now. I'm washing my vegetables. I'm going to wash it properly. That's remove the hesitation and come with a responsible person. That's again not an action. You want to really ironing clothes before wearing. Okay, that's an action you can take now. Okay, research and acquire the best individual responsibility. But that's not also an action. You want to tell me one action which right now you're going to move your hands or move your legs. That's an action. I can make articles, digital posters, creating awareness and sharing it on social media so my viewers can be aware of it. So you're going to make that right now? I mean, are you going to do the digital poster and share it right now? If you're doing it, well, I'm glad. That's going to be a next step before you sleep. One poster going out. Go live on social media and share the views. Okay. Are you going to do it right now, Ritika? Take that action as an individual if you're going to do that. Super. Go ahead. Before you sleep, do that. You'll have a nice sleep. Thank you, Gargi, if you're doing that too. So make a digital poster or write a small article, send it before you sleep. So these are the small actions. Like every day, if you can ask yourself, today, what action can I take to actually make a difference in this area? Is something that you really can start to ask yourself. Asking questions is the best way to actually make a difference to not only yourself, but even to the world. Because whether it is the climatic change or whether it is your internal climate that's changing because of the AMR, that's the resistance that's getting generated outside due to all the actions that collectively we are taking, which is not helping us, by the way. There are changes that are happening internally to us, and we also have a climate inside, right? That is what we call emotions and thoughts, the emotional intelligence that is getting imbalanced within ourselves, right? That's what we're talking about, the internal climatic conditions. What I'm asking, the actions is also coming from your internal climatic conditions. So, and then you're going to keep fighting with the cynicism the resignation that you're going to face around in the world with everybody. It's not happening to me, so why should I be bothered? People are going to speak this, but you, where do you stand? What do you do to actually come out of this is something that, or stand in that possibility every time. So Ritika is telling, Geeta is saying, text people that I'm attending this talk. Okay, that's good. And also let them know what you're learning from this. Because just by knowing you're attending this talk, they'll not get anything. Share with them what you're learning. Discuss about this to my close people and tell them to discuss about this to them. Yes, you can do that too, Ritika. Please do that before you sleep. Yes, Vaishnavi, eat an hygienic food today. Wow, great. Thank you so much for the simple action. I mean, they are very simple. Don't go to complicate things and big. You don't need to take big actions. The small ones that actually make a difference to you. Okay, super. So this is what I wanted to share with all of you, that AMR is something that we see as a condition outside in the world, in the system on this planet, whereas the effects of it is happening inside us with the emotional turmoil that's happening within us, which actually can make us very resigned and cynical about what can happen to this world. Nothing can happen to this world. We end up, have you heard people saying, only discussing and telling negative things, that the politicians are bad or the policymakers are not intelligent? And that is how we as human beings have begun to talk. We are so resigned and cynical about things can change. But if you, whoever is listening to this, can actually stand in that possibility that things can change and we are the ones who can bring that change, that's when you can bring in these small actions into your life and spreading awareness around you that can actually alter not only the outside condition, but also your own condition inside you, your own climate inside you. So thank you for listening. Let's continue with conclusion by Sunitha ma'am.
Thanks, Dr. Padma, for taking us through the emotions that we feel, and then what can we do with those emotions. So if we can please go to the 14th slide. So we are on slide 12. We're now going to slide 14. So this is where we were all, bringing our focus. It's one thing to have all those emotions, and it is very important. We are emotional beings. We cannot just say we are very logical. We will only think with our brain and nothing else. And heart is not a thinking organ. Yeah, really? Just go and read a little bit more about why we follow our hearts as well, right? So emotions, thinking with your heart, thinking with your mind, being logical, they're all different aspects, but ultimately we are one person. It all comes together in that same person, right? So this is not about saying, oh, everything has gone wrong, everything will continue going wrong, and there is no hope in life. If we live a life like that, that's hopeless. We didn't get such a big brain to say, it is hopeless, there's nothing that we can do. Or people will remain like this, there is nothing that we can do. Those are aspects of giving up and giving into the norm that is trying to get created. We need to continue with the mining industry, so we can't change. All right. We need to continue burning the fossil fuels, we cannot change. We need to buy as many cars as the banks can give loans for, we cannot change. So the more we start accepting what is happening currently as inevitable, then obviously we will not turn our emotions into actions, because where will we get started? We will get started with fear, because it is very uncertain, like one of you said. We don't know what's coming our way. Then we will go to grief, because some of us are well connected with the nature. When we see what damage we are doing to our nature that has nourished us and brought us this far, then we get into that space where we are not happy, and we start channeling that grief into very negative thoughts. Then comes anger. These are all like, it's not like it's a stepwise process. I mean, Dr. Padma will be the best person to talk about it. But as a human, I realize that it is not that I will go from fear to grief, from grief to anger. I will not progress like that. Each event will trigger a different emotion in me. Something like AMR will scare me. Something like trees being felled to broaden the roads, which in any case we don't use properly because we pile upon each other when we drive and we honk at each other in the most populated country. We think everybody ahead of us in the traffic should just disappear. Where can they go? We live in the most populated country. Let us also bear in mind, responsible reproduction requires us to think different and better. So if we are producing 65,000 children every single day in this country, we are adding one Australia to India every single year in this country, then where are we headed? We have to start looking at those aspects. You are the generation where you will be the decision makers very soon. So what kind of decisions will you be making? So taking responsibility for that long-term policy vision is very important. We cannot have that narrow vision that says, okay, I will be myopic about all of this. Let me look at how to get through my PharmD. Let me get a job. Let me get married. Let me have my children. Yeah, all of that is normal. Let us normalize those things and not make that look like that is what we are here for. We have a very big brain. We can do beyond that. So it is that beyond that we are talking. And if one person has to do everything, then this is an impossible task. So that is why when Dr. Padma was telling we're talking about solidarity, that's exactly what we need. Only from the health sector, we can only do that much. Please bear in mind, only close to, these are all estimates. We can't weigh and measure and be very sure about it. The estimated numbers in the publication say that 30% of the antimicrobials that we are producing, we are using it for human health. In that 30%, we're not getting it right. Why are we not getting it right? First of all, if you go and look at where is a pharmaceutical division sitting, it is sitting in the Ministry of Petrochemicals. It is not sitting in the Ministry of Health. So the health objectives are not driving a lot of things. It is the economic objectives. As a low and middle income country, we are focused on how do we ensure we have food to feed the mouths that we have. How do we create jobs? How do we economize everything? How do we become the fourth largest economy? How do we move up the ladder? If our thoughts are stuck there, that's good. But if we bring those thoughts into health, that is bad. It is bad for us. It is bad for the environment we live in. Because then we start thinking of the economic aspects and we do not remain cognizant of the health-related aspects. 70% of our antimicrobials are entering the food chain. Even if I decide to not drink milk and have milk products, even if I decide to be a complete vegetarian, with the vegetables and the fruits that I still have to eat to live, antibiotics are coming into my food chain. There is nothing to stop it. So there are no barriers at this point. We have reached that point. We are a global village and everything that we do affects everybody else. So we have to bring about that solidarity aspect, because only when we have that one health approach, we look at animal health, plant health, environmental health, and human health, possibly in that order, then we will be in a good space. What we have done is we have expanded ourselves and our thought processes and what we want out of this planet to such an extent that we are only thinking human health. If you're thinking only humans and human health, it cannot sustain when the plant health, animal health, and environmental health are being messed up by the humans. It is nobody else who's messing it up. So we rather own up and we rather take responsibility for where we are headed. And Dr. Padma said very clearly, we are looking at hope. So that collective momentum comes with the hope. So whether you're working in the healthcare sector or you want to get into any kind of community building aspects, doesn't matter. At the end of it, it is a collective action. It is a collective momentum because one person cannot achieve anything on this planet. So what are the core messages we are leaving with? Our emotions are not our obstacles. If we are afraid, it is okay to be afraid. If we are angry, it is perfectly fine to be angry with what actions we have taken or generations before us has taken. If we are feeling sad and we are grieving for what we have done to this beautiful planet, we don't have another planet to run away to. This is the only place that we have. So if we destroy the only place we have, I don't know how we can justify to have the largest brain on this planet. We didn't come so far to mess ourselves up so badly. So we have to really start thinking. Our emotions are our catalysts. If we know how to use the fear, the grief, and the anger buttons nicely, what we are doing is we are transforming it into responsibility, solidarity, hope, maybe several other emotions. But we can run a session for 1 hour because our attention span, the time, and all of you have had a long day. In spite of it, it is extremely nice that there are 26 of us on this in this participating space. So I really appreciate those of you who have taken time off to be here. Now, what do we want? We have to transform where we are headed. So our policy and our action have to learn to speak to each other. We write some of the most beautiful policies, but when it comes to actually implementing them, the gap just keeps expanding. And we have to start looking at how do we write a policy so that we are able to enact the policy. Action is what matters the most. At the bottom line, what are we looking at? We need the driving force so we have a healthier, a safer, and a more resilient world for all of us. In South Africa, I came across something called Ubuntu. What it says is, I am because we are. It means I can't be happy by myself. I can't live in an island and think that everything will be fine for me. We live in this planet. We are all interconnected. Our problems are interconnected. Our solutions are also interconnected. So that's where we have to head. I am because we are. Last slide, please. Priyanshu, yes, you will definitely get the participant certificate because you participated so well. Now, coming to the participation. What can we do as individuals? Just one thought, like I said, 3 to 4 words, if not one short phrase. What can we do as a community? I think, you can please start putting it on the chat box, participate and win your participant certificate for sure. So we will pause here. Those of you who would like to unmute yourself and ask a question, please do. We are just 26 of us. It's not a massive crowd and we can manage this. And whoever wants to speak, please unmute yourself if that is allowed. Komali, is that allowed?
Yes, ma'am, they can unmute themselves and share their thoughts.
Thank you. Thanks, Komali. Priyanshu, thanks for saying that you participated in a poster competition. Very nice.
So
I will...
Yes, ask what I do about it. So what can I do about it? So Priyanshu, the first thing that you have to do is to actually love your nervousness. Don't hate your nervousness. It is okay. It's an emotion that you have. So the first thing, everyone, whatever emotion you're feeling, acknowledging that emotion and really saying, okay, there is a message that I'm getting from this emotion. That nervousness is telling you something. Just listen to it. Learn to listen to it. That's all, Priyanshu. I think you will get a breakthrough. Yes, Geeta.
Thanks, ma'am. I think you guys are really addressing one of the most, imminent things, which is the emotions attached to the impending climate change and other things. So I'm myself Geeta, and I'm the founder of Little Wise. What we're trying to do is work at the school level, right? What started as what I can do individually, then I've been working on it consistently over the past 3.5 years, so that, we can take that message to children, get them to do some hands-on activities, not just fear, but try and do something. But having said that, for me, even as a founder, there's a lot of fear inside, because even if we approached people as a nonprofit, they are so involved in money, the profit part of it. They're like, what is in it for you? How are you making money? What do you do with the waste? Really, people even ask the questions on what do you do with our waste? You're trying to get rich with our waste. So these things, they feel like hilarious, but at the core of it, it is the attitude of people, right? They know there's an impending danger and still they can't let go of narrow way of thinking. So what's your advice around this?
Okay, so in the first place, it's very, very normal and obvious that we get angry because we are attached to this concern and we want to do something about it. And when people show apathy or cynicism, it is very, very natural for us to actually feel angry or, oh my God, people show this attitude, and we also feel sad and upset and stuff like that. So the first thing that we need to really do is that people are like this, and we are all part of that one, boat that we are all in. And it's okay for people to show that attitude. If you can get that, Gita, that it's okay for people to show that attitude, and I am moving forward irrespective of that attitude coming from people. That is why we are here as change makers, right? Change makers cannot have a very easy job or easy path. We can't.
And just to add to that, Geeta, it would be nice. I mean, I raised my hand to get your attention to say, can you, come onto the video if possible. We are here as change makers, and we don't have to be ready for the video or to be dressed for that. Thank you. So Geeta, that's a valid point, and Dr. Padmashree responded so beautifully to that. Yeah, so it is what it is, right? People will have what they have as their emotions, and there are times when whatever emotions they're coming with clashes with ours because we feel what we are doing is so important and they're not able to see beyond the pettiness of money. Sometimes we also have to step a little back and think of possibly those of us who are slightly more stable in life and not thinking of the next meal or the next year, and we know we can manage with that bank balance to get to that point. Maybe we are able to think beyond money because we see value in what is priceless. We are not putting a price tag to a clean environment. We're not putting a price tag to greenery, right? We are saying this is priceless. Don't put a price tag to it. So we are able to move beyond the currency value and the transactional value only because we know that, we are secure. I don't have to worry about my next meal. So having come a long way, we have to get into that phase where at least for a few generations, people have been comfortable before they can break even in their thinking process, because then it is possibly then that we start seeing beyond money, beyond what money can buy, and beyond making things very disposable and dispensable, right? So no quick
I have
answers.
a point to add there, ma'am. I mean, just getting into the crux of things. The moment you mentioned that, money is probably not what is the thing, and because see, people like us, obviously, we've crossed the place where we can stay comfortable, and then we can probably have some spare money to do something like this. But I was like that. But the more serious you get into it, you know that without money, it's not going to move very far. And there is definitely no major impact you can create without that money. And that's where the awareness within the organizations comes into picture, because they're ready to spare money for, crores into marketing, and they wouldn't give even a small pie into important things that really need to be handled now. There's no urgency, basically.
Yeah, you're right. And I think, we
Yes.
can take this
As a
conversation to
separate
its
conversation,
next
I know,
level.
I'm sorry.
Hi,
No,
Sunitha.
it is
This is
important.
Anita here.
It is important that, people step up and speak up. And
Sure.
thank you for initiating it. But we have to give
Sunitha,
space.
this is Geeta Littlewise, whom I was connecting with you on call.
I see. Thanks,
So
Anita.
thank you so much for this. We will definitely, since you've got the context, we'll definitely reach out, because this has been one of our challenges, awakening organizations to help us grow and create the awareness. And also with the children, the audience we work with, children who are the future generation, and they need a clean air, water, land, and food. So I think you guys would be the right one to guide us and help us if we are ready to work on grounds.
We work together and we guide
Definitely.
each other.
Absolutely.
It's about holding
Yeah.
hands and moving forward, because none of us can make it happen by ourselves. So we
Definitely.
look forward to it. And thank you so much. Like I said, you got the conversation started in its right spirit, but we also want to hear certain things from the next generation leaders. If you want to type it up, don't want to come online, that's fine. Or if you want to just say one or two thoughts that come to you before we close quickly, that will also be great. I know it's a working day. It's been a long day and tomorrow is the next working day, but let's put some energy into this. Ritika, yes, please. Ritika, please unmute yourself.
By the way, Varun, can you stop sharing? I think we'll be able to see them more clearly.
Yes, ma'am.
Thanks, Varun.
Good evening, ma'am. I'm a student.
Yes. We are all students.
I
Some
just
of
have a
us just
suggestion,
started
ma'am.
a little earlier, that's all.
I just
Yes.
have a suggestion, ma'am, regarding AMR.
Yes.
So to treat or to spread awareness about this big thing, AMR. So individually, it is not that possible to actually spread the awareness, ma'am. So I think that by the grace of the IPSF Student Forum, all the students are connected. So I think the colleges which are, I actually also shared this idea yesterday, ma'am. So the neighboring colleges, so whatever the colleges are near us, so collaboratively we can spread to different villages that the colleges are located in. So by spreading the same formula everywhere in each state, we can actually create a greater impact of awareness, ma'am, whether it can be through direct oral contact to the people, or we can also, as some of the students also suggested, using posters or digital posters or whatever. So combinedly, we can spread it even easier and more faster, ma'am. I think this will be better if we do it, ma'am, in the future.
Absolutely. Please take the leadership and please make it happen. Get in touch with Komila, get in touch with the IPASF team. Be the strength in everybody's arm. Sometimes we don't need to have the strong arm ourselves. We just have to become the strength in somebody else's arm, right? So the whole idea is each one reach one. Do one thing that you can do and pull the momentum and make it happen. So it is absolute music to ears coming from the next generation leaders, because we just need more people who look at possibilities and who look at problem solving. We can talk about the problem till we go blue in the face. The energy has to be on the problem solving. Thank you, Jasiraj. Sorry.
Thank you, ma'am.
I look forward to working with you. Please get in touch with Komali and we can take it forward. Ritika, you're saying how to control our inner environment when we face situation that makes us feel nervous or panic or poke us to act what we shouldn't. Dr. Padmashree, your domain.
Yes. Okay, so first of all, I would request you, everyone, Ritika and everyone, to take out that word control and replace it with regulate. Okay, it's not in our trying to control something itself will increase it. So first of all, remove the word control and say, how do I regulate it? So, and second, stop hating your negative emotions. Negative emotions are very, very important to us. They're not negative. They are unworkable at times because we make them unworkable by trying to control it. So stop controlling it. Just like you have your pressure cooker, which you leave little by little by little, you need to learn to regulate it in a way that you can, so the first action for that is, okay, my emotions are valid. Right? So, and when situations do come, like, Geeta was mentioning about people speak about, have their doubts whether we are, we're making money and stuff like that. Allow them to think, no. Why should we go to control what they think? The nervousness or the panic comes to us because we are bothered about what others are thinking about us. How can you control that? You can't. So first of all, you need to learn to allow people to be. Let them judge. Okay, if I exist on this planet, people are going to judge because don't you judge? You do, right? We are humans. Our brains are made to judge. If we don't judge, then we cannot survive. But then we have taken it too far. Just like AMR is going too far, right? So you need to get one thing: emotions are valid. And then I judge, others judge. Let's allow people to judge, think whatever they want to think, and let me do what I'm supposed to do. Don't go into wanting people's approval. You will not get it. It's a game that you will eventually fail getting approval. Where are you putting your energy? So you need to really start to see first how to regulate our internal environment is first acknowledge, okay, I'm feeling sad, I'm feeling angry, I'm feeling whatever I'm feeling, and learn to be with it. So, and situations are going to come when you are on your purpose journey, which has a purpose. Believe me, you will face situations where you would want to, like, I don't want to get into this anymore. This is enough for me. I'm going to quit now. You're going to get this probably 10 times in a day. I do get it many a times. And I'm in this purpose of wanting to make people aware of their emotions and help them to regulate. The easier I'm giving them tools, people are like, it's so easy. No, this will not work. I'm giving them easy tools, but they don't want to. How to know what makes you happy? Because that question itself is to make you happy. I would say my job is not on this planet is I've not come here to be happy. First of all, I'm not looking for happiness at all. I'm on this journey of my purpose, and it's my job to make myself happy to go on that purpose. Simple. Whatever comes, I'm happy. If I say that to myself, I'm on that. I'm not looking for happiness. The more you go looking for happiness, where are you going to find it? It doesn't exist anywhere outside you. It is there inside you. You have to create it. You just say, even in the saddest, like I feel sad many a times and I'm crying. I'm so happy I'm able to cry. I'm so happy that I can be sad. Even in that situation, I'm so happy I can be sad. There are so many people who can't even feel that sadness. So be happy feeling anything and everything. I think that's the best way to look at happiness. I don't know if I answered you, but
I'd just like to add one point, ma'am. It's the same one that you're mentioning. I think it's a privilege that we are able to feel those emotions, or if we're able to feel, regulate, and analyze, and also realize that we are feeling all these. So, yes, that's it.
Yeah, in fact, when I feel sad, people who feel sad, who are called as sensitive, believe me, you are the best people and who have compassion and empathy. Don't feel sad when people say you're too sensitive. Say, oh, am I? I'm the one who can generate the most empathy and compassion. Yeah, just be happy about it.
She was asking, ma'am, what can I do for the best in my life? I will just start off. Life is already giving you the best. You're making the best out of what has been given to you. So if we stop being in the existing mode and start to become cognizant as to how do we progress into the thriving mode, I think that is the best. It's a beautiful journey. And we get caught up with certain destination points thinking that is the ultimate, because when you reach there, you realize that doesn't make you happy anymore. Till you are chasing it, the adrenaline kept you going. But the minute you reach there, there is no more adrenaline. So you're not happy. You're looking at the next one. So everything is a temporary destination point, and anything that is not working is only a temporary setback. The universe is not here to stop you from achieving anything you want. Now, over to you, Dr. Padma.
I'll only ask you, Priyanshu, what is the definition of best for you? It depends on that. Like she said, if your definition is, beyond, it keeps growing, then you can never reach there. It depends on the definition you put for best. Even today, right now, as you're sitting there, you are the best. But you are not feeling that. Feel it now. However you are right now is the best. The next version is going to come tomorrow. So there's no one way to feel your best. You choose. I made a mistake today. I'm still the best because I made a mistake.
Okay, I think Vaishnavi has.
The last one. Is it important to put emotion aside to be successful, or focus on the target to gain our goal, or to stay away from distraction? Putting aside your emotion is a choice only at one time, Ritika, which is um, which is when you are on a purpose, or you're in a, for example, take you're in a meeting, okay, and suddenly you see someone and you're angry or you're sad or some emotion comes up. At that time only, for some time, you have to tell the emotion, can I keep you aside? I have something to accomplish right now. Let me finish this meeting and then come and address the emotion. So at that time, keep it aside. But then don't forget to go and address it. The emotion is waiting for you to meet. So you need to go home, sit with the emotion, talk to it. Why are you feeling the way you're feeling? Right? And then that is one way to handle it, but address the emotion or focus on the target to gain our goal. Now you'll be able to focus on the target only if you can give attention to that emotion and it leaves you, releases. It's released. It is released or it leaves you only when you give attention to it. All emotions and thoughts want your attention, which repeatedly keep coming to you. Stay away from distraction. If you can, please do that. But most of us find it difficult to stay away from those distractions, right? So you need to do some work on understanding why do you get distracted in that particular way. So there is work. It's not as easy. The answers are not very easy, like tips and tools that we give. It's not like that. There is quite an amount of work that you need to do with yourself to achieve this emotional regulation or the emotional intelligence that we are talking about. So this much I can give you right now. Okay.
Thank you so much, Sunitha ma'am and Padmashree ma'am. That was very an interactive session. And thank you so much, ma'am, for answering all the questions. And now I request Miss Madam Venkat Komali, Chairperson of IPSF, to kindly convey the vote of thanks.
Okay, I think it was a really great session. All the students and participants have enjoyed, and I think they have taken all the pointers that they would like to execute it today and cater to their emotions as well, and where India stands right now and how we can improvise, at least even if it is 1%, maybe they can take that one step ahead. Thank you so much, Sunitha ma'am. Thank you so much, Dr. Padmashree ma'am, for taking up this webinar. It was an essential topic and is will be an essential topic to discuss, and it's a endless topic to discuss on, and thank you to the participants, the core of this webinar, for enthusiastically participating and interacting with us and sharing all your thoughts with this. Thank you so much. And please keep an eye on our social media handles. We will keep coming up with such more insightful webinars. And the feedback link is on the chat box. You can fill it up for the participation certificate. Thank you so much.
Thanks a lot. It's unbelievable that till the end, 24, we are still there. We were 26 at one point. Kudos to everybody who stayed back and gave 17 minutes extra. So well done. And let's keep organizing more of this in aspects that you think are important and bring in the discussion. It's thanks to your discussion that we all have stayed back and enjoyed it. If we had to just give a talk and walk away, we would have felt more sad about all this. So now we are feeling not just happy, we are very hopeful, and we know there's a shared responsibility. So kudos to all of you, and keep well. We will be back with more of such sessions. And Komali and Varun, a big thanks to all the hard work you do behind the scenes. It is always appreciated and extremely acknowledged.
Thank you, ma'am. Thank you.
Thank you,
so
ma'am.
much.
Dr. Padma, thanks.
Thank you, Dr. Sunitha, Komali, and Varun, and everybody else. Thank you so much for listening.
Thanks, everyone. Thanks,
you.
Anita and Geeta. Bye.
Thank you, ma'am.